Get ready here. How you doing, Norm? How was your weekend?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I had a great weekend. Hopefully you did as well.
All right, excellent. All right, so before we get started, you might see Mike B is on the right side of things here. So congratulations to Mike B. He's going to be joining the moderation team. He's going to be helping us out, do some content and education work for the community. So congrats, Mike B, on that. And for those that don't know that were not around last week, Mike B retired from the military on January 10th after 23 years of service. So again, thank you for that, Mike. We can't say thank you enough. I mean, I was there personally, and to see what you guys go through, especially what the family goes through. It's just, again, it's overwhelming, very humbling, and everyone here thanks you. All right, guys. So as usual, if you're joining this show for the first time, welcome. What our rundown is, what we usually do here is we start off with our gappers list right over here. So we have our gappers list from Trade Ideas. We're gonna go over what's going on there. Then we'll look at Nasdaq Active, Nasdaq Gainers, which is this list over here. Usually here you find some stocks are might be trading well. Usually lower flow stocks, stuff that usually does not hit our ATR. We do have a minimum of 50 cents here. Sometimes you have some stocks that are trading well under 50 cents ATR that do not hit this scanner that can be caught on this scanners. And a lot of low flows usually are on here. So anybody trading low flows, this is a great scanner to have. This is coming from Dash Trader Pro. Then Norm will talk a little bit about the SPY and the news. What's going on in the market? Is any major announcements or news that is scheduled for today or this coming week? And then between Tuesday and Fridays, we'll go over our watch list from yesterday, kind of look over some top plays and highlights of the stuff we had on our watch list. So with that said, let's look at the SPY, guys. Let's see what we have going on here. And Norm, anything interesting scheduled for today or this week?
Yeah, so we have kicked into essentially earnings season full swing. So there's a slew of earnings coming out as we go out throughout the week. I'm sure some of those will pop up. This morning, our gappers list is predominantly ruled by this new coronavirus in China and in Asia. So um, just touch on that. China has just recently had a new outbreak of a new form of the coronavirus, which has killed 6 people as of this morning, I believe, and the last number I saw is 300 plus infected that they've found, and it's mostly in China, mostly one specific region of China, but it's now been found in a couple of the larger cities. It's also, I think, a person in Japan, a person in South Korea, a person in Thailand. So they are concerned. I mean, there's been a history of this kind of thing in the past with the population there. A lot of it very rural, a lot of it very poor. These things can spread quickly and really wreak havoc on the economy with the slowdown of transfer of goods and services. So, in the past, there's been SARS, there's been MRSA or MERS, there's been a number of
Mm-hmm.
these. So, we're hoping it doesn't get too out of hand. That's a lot of what's kicking this down. On top of that, over the weekend, I believe it was the IMF downgraded growth forecasts for this year for the world, predominantly due to a little bit of a slowdown in India. So that's also kind of kicked world markets down across the board. And that's what we're up against this morning. There is no significant economic data being released today. We've got jobless claims, economic indicators, manufacturing PMI, and such later this week, but nothing for today. So that's where we sit.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys, so let's get through this list we have here. Let's start over with BYND in our gappers list. First one up this morning. BYND is up 3.3% as of now and is has
Beyond
a
the mean.
yes, and has 187,000 shares traded at the moment. So again, just this stock has been definitely very active over the last 2 weeks or so. You can see here it's just kind of it was beat down pretty bad once it tapped out at 240, 270, whatever the crazy number was. Here, this thing was just insane. I remember when this was happening, it really was not tradable. I mean, you were really rolling the dice. The moves were outrageous. Some of the intraday stuff just didn't make sense. And the spread sometimes was almost $2, $3. It was just crazy. So not really anything that you want to be involved with. But you can see here the craziness hit 240. From there, it has taken a nice little hit all the way down towards that 70. Found a very good support at 70. News came out here that their competitor was dropping out from the race of trying to get into McDonald's. So that was a big that's a big positive for them. I don't think they actually got into McDonald's. It's just they didn't have that competition going forward, right? Norm, is that correct? Um,
I think they're being tested in some McDonald's, which
okay.
would be the gateway to getting into the stores. Yeah.
Gotcha. So then this caused this beautiful pop here from 70 all the way up to 135. We did get a nice pull down, some good red days here, and now we're kind of consolidating. So this looks good. I think BYND setting up nicely here. Hopefully, can trade very well. The spread right now looks great, only 5 cents, which is not bad for pre-market. But we also have a great pre-market activity here in the price action, so that looks good with some good volume. So hopefully, this thing can give us some good opportunity and a nice trading day, because sometimes although it has as much volume, is popping up nice, is looking great, it can be very difficult to trade. Sometimes the candles are the price action is very whippy, so it's very easy to get stopped out and not be able to survive a good pullback on this stock. Here is Tesla. So Tesla at the moment, it is up 2.5, 393,000 shares traded, already putting in a beautiful pre-market activity. And what I mean by that, just look at the flow we have here, right? So we have a nice little pattern going, ABCD here in the pre-market. So we have the volume, plus we're getting a great pre-market action, right? So this is the action here, opposed to when you see a stock where it's just chopping around and not doing much. You might have 1.1 million shares traded here, but this is not good pre-market activity. So this has both, has great volume and a great pre-market action. Also the daily, I think the daily looks really good. Let's not forget about how great the daily looks here. Look at the push up, the pullback, right? And the push up again, the pullback, and kind of held this 490 very nice. You got the moving average here. Now we're popping up a bit. This could be setting up nicely for a test of that 550 again, all-time highs here. So again, looking forward to that. If we can get some kind of strength here, this can definitely get going. Now, Norm, aside from technicals, anything going on with Tesla? Have they released any news recently?
Well, this hit that it took last week, this drop from 550 was in part due to petition and some agencies potentially looking into unexpected acceleration of Teslas. And the company's come out and said that that is being it's being motivated by a Tesla short seller. I haven't dug into that a whole lot. And then also there is some vehicle demand info that's come out that's helped hold it here and pop it up a little bit uh, in China specifically. So that is what's going on with Tesla right now.
All right, perfect. So definitely like what's going on here at the moment. We'll definitely keep this one on here. Next, we have is that American Airlines, AAL? I
Yep.
believe it is. Yep, it is American Airlines. So again, this one doesn't trade all that well, guys. Look at the daily charts, very, very choppy. But there are instances where it is in play. We got some news, and you can get some volume and get going here. Right now, I'm not seeing great volume. Really, just slightly over 100,000. It is down 2.1. Not a great pre-market activity, and a lot of volumes. Again, just not really much going on in regards to volume. Not seeing anything great here. So, any specific news on American Airlines dropping 2% this morning?
I mean, there's a couple of things. You got the 737 Max that the date keeps getting pushed back. That's part of it, but also, the virus in China that I mentioned. If that spreads, it will greatly impact global travel. So
Mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
part of why these are getting hit.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, people will not want to go to certain places if they fear something. It's up with this, and it gets very serious. So, yep, that makes perfect sense. So here we have a little bit of a drop. Not great volume, not a great pre-market activity. These stocks usually tend not to have the best pre-market activity, so we'll keep an eye on it. But might not be one that makes our final list the way it looks right now. Here's JD, one that we have had a lot of fun with before in the past. Has some good volume this morning, 200,000 shares traded. We do see here the daily seems to has gotten a little bit toppy in this area here around 40. Seems to be 40.36, which is the highs of the last two trading days right on there. Had a tough time getting out of there. So if you look at the daily, had a great little run up here following this 9 moving average on the daily. Got up to 43.37 here. Has had a tough time breaking out of that. So we're dropping down a bit today. Also could be part of the news that you mentioned earlier, because it is a Chinese stock if I'm not mistaken. And they're down quite a bit today, 2-3% with some good volume. Now, pre-market wise, I'm not seeing
Yeah, these,
anything. Yeah,
these
go ahead.
Chinese stocks are all Chinese stocks essentially across the board are getting
Mm-hmm.
hit on this coronavirus news of the breakout over there.
Yeah, so this one here doesn't have the greatest pre-market activity, but it can trade well if it does get the volume. So we have a lot of good history on trading JD, trading it successfully. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Hopefully, it can get better, and I hope that we can get a good open out of JD this morning. EDU, well, what do we have going on here? So EDU is down 4.2. Pre-market, this
Chinese
looks,
stock.
yeah, this looks doesn't look great at all, guys. So again, I'm just gonna bypass this. This is not something that trades very well, so we're just gonna skip this one. Next we have LK. Let's look at LK. So this is the coffee. Yeah, looking coffee. So this one has
If people can't breathe, they can't drink coffee.
exactly. So this one is again, it's been very very active, guys. We've seen it go from 10 down to $20 all the way up to 50. So this thing has been on a beautiful tear. This morning we're giving some back a bit here, getting topped around the $50 mark. So we are down this morning 4.5. Pre-market activity starting to get better. This has put in some good trading. I've seen a lot of the members and Andrew takes some really good trades of LK. It does trade very well. Pre-market is starting to get nicer over here. Pretty flat in this area. Hopefully here we can create a good pre-market action. But definitely one to watch this morning, guys. It is down 4.6. We have some good levels on the daily already between your highs and lows, just right on here. So that'll be good to have. We'll look for some more levels as we get closer to that segment of the show. Let's head down over to BLDP. So BLDP this morning, we are down 6.7, 233,000 shares traded. I think a couple of block trades. I'm not really seeing a great pre-market activity on this one at all. And the daily, this looks like one of those energy stocks, which usually does not trade very well. And you could tell here, look at the volume. The volume is very, very low, guys. Trading under 3 million shares for the entire day. Lately getting above that 6 million shit, but again, that's not a lot of volume for a stock to trade. So again, I'm not a fan of this one. Don't like the pre-market action right now. We got the volume, but look at the volumes being traded. You got 60,000 just in these two candles here. You have some 10,000 around here. So again, it's just not clean. I'm just gonna take this one off my list for the moment. We have TAL. Let's see what TAL is up to. TAL. All right, wow, this is down 8.5, 264. Again, another one. This is a Chinese stock as well. Norm,
Yep.
Tao Education.
Yep.
Yeah, these we've seen this one before. It does not trade well, guys. Again, just not a fan of the pre-market action here at all. It's got some volume. It's down 8.5, but look how this volume is being traded. So again, I'm not a fan of this one. On something like that, I'd rather watch like a AMD and MU and see if those are going to get going. But that's not a stock I'm a fan of. Here we have TCOM. TCOM this morning. Trip.com, go figure. Trip.com is down. And kind of what you said earlier, Norm, people are going to be taking a hit on Trap, or if this thing, gets worse than what is being talked about right now. But this one is a recent IPO, though. This one just got into the market around 20 December, looks like, or November. 2019. So very recent IPO. You don't have a lot of history on here. Already, the daily chart doesn't look all that great. We are down 11.3 this morning
TCOM?
on this one. Yeah, TCOM, TCOM.
Yeah, TCOM's not that new.
It's not. How come I'm not getting no history on this? Going back, I'm
I
not
don't know.
getting anything.
I think it's older than you're thinking. But maybe I'm wrong, but I thought
Yeah, I would think Trip.com
TCOM.
will be.
I've got something's wrong with the charts because
Oh, okay.
TCOM goes back a while. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm not getting anything past this for some reason. I'm not sure why. So
I'm
yeah,
not either, but I just know it's not a new IPO.
gotcha. All right, so yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this one, guys. Again, doesn't look great right now. Pre-market looks a little choppy. Also, the daily chart not as exciting. But again, just not sure what's going on with this one today. As you mentioned, Norm, again, the airlines make sense. Trip.com, the airlines are going to take a hit this morning if the travel, people start, canceling their trips to certain places. That's going to cause, a ripple effect into these airlines. So, what else we have on
Yes, and
here?
this is like the Chinese Expedia, so they probably get hit pretty damn hard.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, guys. So that is what we have of our gappers list. Let's go quickly to our Nasdaq actives. NAVAX. NVAX, excuse me. This one we were talking about in the YouTube chat just a while ago. This one you want to be very cautious with, guys. It's a very low flow stock. This right now is trading is up 64%. And it's a 26 million shares flow. But again, the way this is trading right now, you want to treat this like a low flow. It says 26%, 26 million here on trade ideas. But this stock, you could just tell right now, up 64%. Look at the volume, 3.6 million shares traded, going from basically $6 up to $10 this morning, high of the pre-market. So this will be the low flow of the day. I'm gonna throw this down here. Definitely very active. Has a good pre-market activity. Just be cautious getting in here, especially if you're chasing. What happens is, look at this move here, right? I guarantee you, tons of people got stuck here thinking this thing is going to go higher, and then look at the drop, right? And what happens with these lower flow stocks, you tend to get this same reaction, right? It'll fake out another ABCD pattern. You think it's gonna break out. By the time you get in, boom, another drop. So these are easy manipulated by a lot of price action. Just be cautious when trading these type of stocks. Low number of shares, and really pay attention to your stops. And if you want to do hard stops, even better. Just you never know with these things what can happen. Yeah, I agree, Peter. This is very scary action on this one, so just be very cautious here. Next, we have a GNPX. GNPX is very active this morning, 3.6. More of a penny stock, guys. Really trading under 50 cents here, 35 cents. Today is up 227% on some good volume. Let's just check the float. I'm going to assume is a lower flow stock. Yeah, 13.3. This is more of a penny stock, so I really won't watch this one at all. If you do want to trade something that's a lower flow stock, NVAX will be the one to watch. But this one, it's just you want to be cautious with these type of stocks. TTNP, always on our list, penny stock. We won't watch that. VIVE, also another penny stock. We'll skip that one. FCEL is always on this list as well. It's another one that it's been active over the last couple of days. Now, this one, let me sure I'm not mistaken it for anything else. I think this one's not a low flow stock. Yeah, this is a higher flow stock, so it's not a low flow stock, but it does trade very poorly, even with a lot of volume. So go back and look at this intraday plays here, where you have 151 million shares traded. Look how that trade in the intraday again. Doesn't trade very clean. It's very choppy. Sometimes I don't want to say there's too much thing as too much volume, but this is sometimes it's too much volume for these type of stocks, and they don't trade well at all. Not giving you a good indication for like the patterns that we're used to trading ABCD opening range. They're just not there easy to identify with this type of price action. So right now again you got kind of a 876, and look how this 876 volume is being traded. You got half of it sitting right here at 8 o'clock. Maybe some transactions being just posted on there in the exchanges. But again, just not a great pre-market activity. So I'm going to just bypass that one. LK, we have ADXS, also a penny stock. We'll skip this one. A NASDAQ indicator. We have Tesla here. Tesla, we do have on our list. Tesla looks very good, guys. Good pre-market activity, great daily. I definitely like the way that's moving this morning. And then we have a NASDAQ indicator here, slightly down this morning. On the NASDAQ gainers, the first two we already checked, the third one as well. LEDS, penny stock, so not really anything happening here. Volume doesn't look great. Pre-market action doesn't look all that great neither. SRAX, no volume. Evoke also has no volume, only 23,000 shares traded. INFI, same situation, only 40,000 shares traded. YTRA, no volume at all. CAMT also has no volume. And last one on this list, CERS, no volume there. So out of this NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, NVAX seems to be the one that has the cleanest of daily chart. It is 26 million shares flow, but you want to be cautious. You want to treat this as a low flow and be very careful this morning. They're up 3.7 with some really good volume and a decent pre-market activity at the moment. All right, Norm, what do you like this morning?
A couple of them here. Uber, first of all, sold a business unit in their Uber Eats division in India. They're popping up on some pretty good volume this morning.
All right, yep, got Uber.
SPCE.
SPCE.
And then SPCE, Virgin Galactic. And then Roku's kind of forming an interesting pattern on the daily, so I've got my eye on that too after some not great trading the last few days or so.
Gotcha.
Some of the stuff I'm keeping an eye on.
Gotcha. I like SPCE. This one's looking very nice. What's the news on this one this morning?
I know that somebody was talking about what they have going on, and just like the space race is going to be the next big thing amongst all these millionaires getting into it, between Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these guys getting into this, and it might be the thing that makes the next set of billionaires. Other than that, I'm not quite sure on SPCE. There's probably something else. I just haven't really dug into it yet.
Gotcha. Well, the technicals here on the daily and the pre-market looks very good. So I like the fact that we're getting above this area of resistance here. So definitely worth giving a look at this one. We have 251,000 shares traded so far. So this looks good for us to look at this morning. All right, folks, what do you guys have on your end? Let's start with YouTube today. See what we got over here. So, NVAX we do have, guys, so that's no problem. BYND we have, JD we have, Uber we have, Win. Let's check out Win, see what's going on here. So again, I guess a lot of these resources and trip websites and booking are going to be taking a hit based on the news this morning. So this one is down 6%.
Yeah, all these casinos are going to get hit because
Yeah.
Macau and part of China is a big source of their revenue and growth.
Yep. LVS, also Las Vegas Sands, also taking a big hit there. What I don't like about a lot of these
There's a
stocks,
deadly virus floating around. The last thing you want to
yeah,
do is go sit at a poker table or a blackjack table with a bunch of people and rub
yeah,
your hands all over slot machines that everybody's touched, right?
where the air is not circulating as great. So yeah, you don't want to be involved
Well,
in that.
the cigarette smoke kills all the germs, I think.
So LVS also looks interesting. The issue is going to be with this one, finding the one that's going to trade well. A lot of these stocks do not trade well overall, period. So I think was the best way to do this would be to have our secondary list of LVS. So we have what's the other one we just looked at? Win, right? These all kind of fall into that same category. And what I'm going to do is probably just wait. TAL is another one that someone mentioned here. Just wait for this one to hit the scanners, guys, right? Turbo breakdown, turbo breakup, because they don't really trade very well. Again, we'll see at the open what the kind of the sentiment is at the market and how these things are going to be dropping heavy or not. But again, there's just the trading patterns a little bit more difficult in this one. They don't get quite the volume. If you can see, the normal trading volume is pretty low unless there's significant news. They might not move as well. So we'll keep an eye on this one. On these three over here. If anybody can think of any other one, we can throw it on there. And what I'll do is I might not have them on my main list, but I will keep an eye for turbo breakdown, turbo breakup on these type of stocks this morning. All right, Tim is giving us HAL. Let's take a look at that HAL this morning. We got some volume, 888. Not really moving much right now. Kind of stuck within this this range here. So kind of just getting choppy within this area here, unless there's any significant news. I don't see anything all that exciting. They
had
do.
They had earnings this morning.
Oh, perfect. Was it good or bad? What was their outcome?
It was a little bit of a mix. I think it was they had adjusted some profits or something, and they beat their EPS, but they had some things that they wrote off. So it's a
Gotcha.
little bit of a mix on it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely showing in their action this morning. Again, popped up and it's right back down here. So again, just kind of stuck within this area. Could be a good possible, guys. If it can break out towards the bottom here, you got a nice support. If it can break that support, this can be a good trade. But overall, right now, not looking all that great. Pre-market activity also is not looking all that exciting. But definitely worth putting here as a possible, as it does have potential. As we get closer to 9:30, 9:15, we'll take a closer look at that again and see what we can get out of that. All right, let me just check, guys. What else do we have here? All right, let's look in our chat room now. What we got going on here? BA. Let's get the thoughts on BA. What's going on with BA? BA has a nice drop. Yeah, the BA is good, guys. It's gonna hit our scanners pretty soon. Actually, no, because it's not below 2%. But the volume is there. The pre-market actually starting to build up here. Something at 8:30 is causing a nice little move here. Some volume starting to come in. I do like the fact that we are losing this area of nice support here, guys. This support here has been what I want to call a major support. And the reason why is because you have several days with a huge support, changing direction at that support level. For 235. So we're losing that this morning. We have one more sticking out right here, so we're kind of holding on to this one. But overall, this looks very interesting. Again, another last piece right on here where we're sitting at right now, 321. So I like the way this is building up. Definitely worth taking a look at. I gotta get my charger in a second. All right, so definitely we're looking at BA. I'm gonna throw this on here, guys. So we'll put BA there. Make some room over here. There we go on BA. All right, guys, we have quite a bit. Let's go over to announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list. Let me get our sheet over here. Norm, I think I have an older sheet.
Yeah, use the last one you got.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one. Here we go.
Weekly rundown. So these times are subject to change, but this is generally what we have going on, scheduled events in the chat each week. Brian usually does a swing trade discussion on Mondays about 2:30 in the chat room. go over what he's looking at for the week. Over the weekend, he usually puts out on YouTube, just kind of going over some charts and what it looks like in the swing trading world. Also tonight at 8 p.m., Class 1 onboarding with your man Carlos over there. Tuesday and Thursday's trade reviews at noon in the classroom with Eamon, and our success webinar, which we'll talk about in just a minute, is for lifetime members. Actually, this week it's open to everyone. It will be, I believe, in the classroom at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. And then specifically, we still have the holiday promo. We're not really advertising it or mentioning it except for here. That promo code is still active. So you can use holidays 19 at checkout to get a 40% off discount off a one-time lifetime membership. DAS replay feature is live. If you got your DAS simulator from Bearable Traders, that is the only version that is currently working. I heard from Karen at DAS Trader that the IB version will be out soon. If not in the next couple of weeks, it'll be out very, very soon. Here's a list of recent success webinars we've had. Chart log is this week. Like I said, it's going to be about journaling. Two guys from Bearable Traders connected offline. Andrew sent out an email about this over the weekend, kind of their story and what's going on there. So should be an interesting success webinar. Like I said, this one is open to everybody. It'll be in the classroom, 8 p.m. on Wednesday. They're going to be talking about journaling and how it can help your trading. Next week will be Naz and Andrew talking about day trading options. Meetups, yeah, this one is old. So Seattle obviously was last weekend. Hopefully you guys had a great time. Check the forum post AB will put up. Andrew is looking to go to Dubai in February and have a meetup there. So dates TBD, but take a look at the forum, sign up for it. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube and would like to try out the chat, you can do so for a week with the promo code PREMARKET24. Does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. That's all I got.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right, guys, so let's go through this list. Let's start over here at the top. So here we got some so the main list. We got some possibles here as well, and then we have some other ones here based on all the stuff that's going on with this virus that's spreading around. That could nothing serious yet, but it can become pretty serious pretty fast. So these traveling stocks and even the airline is kind of taking a hit this morning due to that. So we'll take a look at those. Let's start with BYND this morning. What I like about BYND is we're kind of consolidating. We found some support here. We didn't drop all the way down to the area that we came from, the support that we had here at 75. So we're holding what seems to be 106, and we're trying to somewhat break out of this now. So issue with BYND could be very difficult to trade, guys. It's a stock that can move quite a bit when the open happens and it gets the volume, so just be aware of that. Let's do some levels for this. Towards the top, we do have 122.36 based off the high of this day here, where we had a nice little breakout, and then above that recent high we have 135.08. Huge rejection there. Look how we came right back down, and from there we've just been consolidating between the highs and lows from the last two trading days, creating some good support and resistance levels right on here between those two levels. So I would love to see BYND break out of these levels. I know 115 was an issue where it has not been able to break out of that in the last three trading days. Hopefully today could be the day where we can break that out, break out of that. Or if not, if it decides to reject here, also play towards the bottom will be also nice. We have a level clearly at 199, 99.04, nice level there. And then below that, you have this level all the way down here at 91. I don't think we'll get there. I think BYND, although it's a little bit tough to trade, does have a lot of positive news behind it. I don't think you're going to get a significant drop. We might consolidate here, go sideways, or hopefully squeeze towards this 122 area. Here we have Tesla. Tesla, again, continues to trade very well. Our high of our pre-market sitting at 524.98. Basically 525 there. Above that, you have a nice level over here at 537, and then your all-time high sitting roughly around 547, 46.50 or so. It looks like 547 is your all-time high right on there. 547.51. So right now setting up very well. I do love the way the daily is setting up. You can see here we had a nice little pullback, found support, and we're back squeezing up towards that 530, 550 area. Pre-market wise, you do have a beautiful pre-market activity. You do have towards the bottom the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days plus the previous day close. So tons of support towards the bottom here. I think this one's looking pretty strong for today for a possible retest of the all-time high, or at least this area of 537. American Airlines, again, not doing much at the moment. This is going to, I'm going to put this down here next to these traveling sites. Here we go. Just to remind myself, if any of these hit the turbo breakdown, I want to tune into these to see what's going on. So I'm going to put it down there for now. We'll review this in a second. Here is JD, guys. So JD tends to trade clean when it is active. We have 220,000 shares traded right now. It is down 2.8. So for me, that looks like it's going to be pretty active this morning. Right now, what I love about JD is we did get toppy in this area here. Rejection of this was the high from the last 2 trading days, 40.40. And now we're kind of heading back down here, losing the level of support that we have from between this consolidation. So that I like the fact that we're doing that there. Hopefully we can get some momentum out of this. Towards the bottom, we do have a level sitting at 38.75. And then we have another one here. Here, not a clean level. You have 38.75, which is very clean, the rejection there. Here, we just kind of been slowly grinding higher. So not a very clean level of support in here. This one is a lot cleaner all the way down here. Very clean, very clear, 36.76. You can see the rejection right there of a resistance and also the support once we broke out of this, right? We usually see this all the time. We break out of the area of resistance. We come back and retest that. This one actually did it by gapping down right to that 36.72 and then taking off again to the next level of resistance. So I don't like anything in between here, but we do have this beautiful moving average right on here, 38.03. That could be an area you want to look out for. But as far as daily candles in here, you really don't have a good daily support or resistance happening in this area here. All right, so that's JD, guys. Right now, volume looks good. Kind of holding this 39 level here a bit. So we'll see what it does as we get closer to 9:15, 9:30. Here we have LK. LK has been very active, giving some back this morning, down 3.8, 688,000 shares traded. Low of our pre-market is sitting at 46.37, so we're going to mark that down. And then we're stuck between some levels here, between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, plus the previous day close. So if you look at, if you zoom out a bit here, you can see that we just kind of stuck within this range. This can go either way, guys, at the moment. We are bouncing back from this low of the day, 47.37, 40 to be exact. So we'll have to see how that reacts there. But overall, it's been trading very well. If you go back and look at the rip, this thing has been just very strong over the last couple of days. So we'll see what this does here. Again, just stuck between some levels here at the moment. It can go either way. And another level I'm going to add towards the bottom is going to be this one here, 44.70, 44.57. In case we lose this 47 and 46. I don't think we're going to do that. I think this stock has been very strong. I think we might get a squeeze here or a bounce. But just in case we lose some of these supports, we do have some levels there. TCOM this morning. I love the drop here. We're down 10%, 329,000 shares traded. Now this is trip.com. Let's go back again. Still don't have the history on this one, so I'll have to restart my platform before the open.
I ain't gonna do it. It's changed tickers. That's the problem.
Oh, it did. What's the new ticker? Or is this the new ticker now?
No, that is the new ticker. That's the problem.
Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right. So again, usually this stock doesn't look like it trades very well. It's very choppy on the daily. I don't have more history to go back and look at it, but overall they're down quite a bit, guys. 10% with the news of the virus, possibly being a concern for people, depending on how this thing is going to spread. We do have some deaths you mentioned already, Norm, right? So once you start talking about dead bodies popping up, people start getting concerned and it becomes very serious. So it is down right now quite a bit, 34.43 at the moment, low of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, you do have this beautiful level here, 33.55. You can see how that level has been as resistance here and then support. Again, not the greatest level because you don't have a great daily chart on here. Now above the price action, you do have this level here. I want to mark down this 35. And the reason for that, I know it's slightly right above the price action, but you can see the resistance right on there and the support as well. So I want to mark that also in this area. Again, not the best looking chart. I'm also going to throw this down here, again, as a possible. It all depends how the market is going to react to this news. So I'm going to throw it down here as well with all these Trip and Airlines right on here to see how they react and if they hit our scanner. So again, not a fan of the way it's looking at right now, so I'm going to remove it from our list. This was actually not BAL. This was HAL, not BAL. Let's take this off. HAL was the stock that we were looking at. Again, right now, not doing much, guys. It did have earnings. They're kind of stuck within this consolidation of the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. It did pop up all the way up to 25, so it did get going here a bit, then right back down to this consolidation area. So 24.95 area of high of the pre-market. Above that, we do have 25.45. We'll mark that down as well. And then towards the bottom, you really have a lot of support down here. The low of the pre-market is at a 23.50, but I'm going to mark this one all the way down here, 23.40. I think it's a better daily level for us to have, not too far from the pre-market. So if we can break out of this range, it could be nice. Towards the top, we have 24.95 and 25.45, and then towards the bottom, if we can break out of this 23.40, we do have some areas here as well. 22.94 could be a great level, and also all the way down here. No, this one is better. 22.08. So we do have some levels here for possible if this thing wants to break down. But again, not the cleanest daily chart, guys. Very choppy, as you can see here. Doesn't move much today. They're moving on earnings. This is why you're getting 272,000 shares traded. But again, not the greatest daily chart, and also the pre-market activity is just not as great. So this is possible for me. Might not make the final list. Here we have Uber. What do we have on Uber at the moment? Uber is a good possible, guys. I do like the way this is setting up. Let's remove some of these levels. So we are slightly above the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So towards the bottom, I don't think you need to add anymore. You got tons of support down here. The high of a pre-market is sitting at 35.99. So we do have some volume. Not the greatest pre-market activity, but we've seen Uber do this before where the pre-market activity is not great. No, I remember the day you called this out as a possible breakout. I don't recall the exact time frame, but it had the same thing. It had a very bad pre-market activity, and it put in a good trading day. So don't let this, it's kind of like an MU. Don't let the pre-market activity fool you on some of these stocks. This one can actually trade very well, even with a bad pre-market activity. So towards the top, guys, 35.97 high of the pre-market, and then above that, we do have an area here at 37.53 on Uber. All right, so let's recap on our main list here. So we have BYND. We have Tesla, which is looking, oh man, Tesla's looking pretty good. Hopefully,
I'm liking Tesla.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too extended and it doesn't do too much before the open. Here we have JD. JD's looking all right. LK getting active, so that's good too. HAL at the moment also. This could be interesting, guys, if it can break out of this. So I like HAL. Doesn't look great, but it could be interesting. Uber, good possible. Now let's look at some of the ones that we are going to keep an eye on. SPCE actually is a good one. I'm going to move SPCE up. This is actually trading very well. Let's look some levels for SPCE. So we have our high of our pre-market, which looks like it's going to change pretty soon right now at 1645. But that looks like it's going to be tested and it's going to be breaking out of that. And then towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close. You got tons of support down here. Don't need to add anymore. If we move over, we are all-time high on this stock. What's the situation here? We might be. Let's look at the weekly. I think we are at least 50. Yeah, we are all-time high on this one. So again, you don't have no more levels towards the top here, but this is looking pretty good in the pre-market. So let's see what happens here. All right, so we have some possibles. Roku. We have HAL. We actually have in the top, so remove that one. And here, all the stocks that are kind of dropping down a bit. You can see here -10, -5, -5, -9.2, -1.8, based on this news, what's going on with the virus, right? So these are all traveling companies, booking companies, and you have an airline here as well. The airline could be because of the 737 MAX. Did we look at BA? I thought we looked at BA.
Yeah, I think you did earlier.
Yeah,
didn't you?
we did. This thing fell out for some reason, but yeah, BA looks good, guys. I'm gonna put BA back.
I think you changed it to BAL and then changed it to HAL.
Oh, okay. Yep. Here we go. So BA definitely worth taking a look at. Again, we've got a good pre-market activity starting here at 8:30. You can see the action, the pre-market action trading very well. We've got some good volume coming in. Also, I love the fact that we're somewhat losing this support of 325, which has been great support for a long time. So again, we're testing that one more time here this morning. So all right, now my keyboard's going. Okay, here we go. So now we have a good support here, 325. We definitely want to see what happens here. We're bouncing back off that 321 low off the pre-market. I'm going to mark that down. 321 at the moment, which happens to be the exact area where we have some support on here. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch, guys. This thing has been taking a pretty decent hit over the last couple of days with the news of the 737 MAX. And then the way that it was handled on top of that, which is, again, just not handled very well. But it has been able to hold this 321, this 320 area. So today we're testing that one more time this morning. We'll see what happens there. All right, so then some possibles, guys. Roku, a good possible here. All the traveling stocks here, they're all down quite a bit. All really with some really bad pre-market activity. I don't see anyone that has a really good pre-market activity or a good daily, right? These things don't trade very well on a normal basis, but today they have some good catalysts, some negative catalysts, so that can cause some good movement. So we'll keep an eye on those. And then NVAX is the low flow of the day, guys. Be very cautious. I know it says 26 million shares flow, but the way this thing is trading, you want to treat it like a low flow and be very careful with it. Our high of the pre-market sitting at it says 975, but I got 1018 here. Not sure what's going on with that. I got 1018, but it says 965, so we'll figure that out. So that's the high of our pre-market. Towards the bottom, guys, our low of our pre-market sitting at 903. Right here, 905 looks like that's the low of the pre-market. So right now, very active right now with the pre-market action. But again, just be very careful. 4.2 million shares traded. It is up 70% this morning. Looks like you might want to come back up and test that 1018 one more time here. All right, guys, that is what we have. Let's just recap this list real quick. I think we have way too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's way too many. So BYND, again, although I'm probably not going to trade this stock, I like to watch this one. Is something that can give you some good opportunity. The spread it wasn't so bad earlier. It was 5 cents. Now it's 15 cents, which is not too bad for a stock the way this thing trades. It's just being able to catch the price action on this one. So we'll keep this one on here. Tesla is doing great, guys, breaking out nicely here. Definitely going to watch this one. JD, we have some good history trading JD, so I want to keep an eye on this one. LK also last week traded very well. We took a lot of great opportunities and breakout on LK, so I know it could put in a good intraday trade. We'll keep this one. HAL, this one I'm going to remove, guys. This could be, I'm going to put it down here as a possible. I'm going to remove for now. It has potential, but at the moment it's not looking all that great pre-market wise. So let's just remove this one. Uber, actually, we have it as a possible as well. So I'm going to bring this down here on Uber. And I want to keep SPCE. I'm going to keep this one on here, and I want to keep BA as well. I think BA has a good pre-market activity starting out here, 115,000 at the moment. But I love the fact that we're at this level, so we can get some movement out of that. So that is what we have, guys. BYND, Tesla, JD. JD's could be a good possible. This could be one that we can actually interchange for any other ones here that might be trading well. We have a LK, we have a SPCE, and then we have a BA. Norm, anything that we might have missed? I think Norm might have muted us.
Oh, I'm right here. MNK. I don't know if you've looked at that one. That's another drug manufacturer. They actually they've been hit real hard, have a high short float because of the opioid deal, and they had one of their judgments against them drastically reduced.
Yeah, and actually,
You and I traded this a while back.
Yeah, we have successfully traded this one, MNK. So I definitely want to keep an eye on this one as well. This one is up quite a bit now, and it's going to be hitting our scans pretty soon. It's 80,000 shares traded at the moment, up slightly over 2%. So this could be a good possible also, guys. Hey, we have a lot on this list, so I'm going to keep my eyes on the scanners. And if I see any of these travel agencies come up, I'm definitely going to tune into them if they start hitting their scanners pretty heavy, right? Because we obviously know there's got some negative news on here that can affect them. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for that. AMD. Man, we have way too many today. So AMD, yeah, AMD looks good on the daily, guys. It looks like it might want to test this 54, which is the high from the last trading day. That would have been Friday. And it's been trading so well. And keep in mind, guys, AMD, that first 15 minutes, 30 minutes could be very, very choppy. So if you try to take an opening range breakup on a 5-minute and you get stopped out twice, just stop trading it, give it a break, let it settle in, and you'll realize that in 30 minutes or so, it'll grab onto a moving average if it's going to trade well, and it'll start trending nicely. So again, if you get stopped out twice, trying to take a 5-minute opening range breakup, just stop trading it, sit back, just let it do its thing, and you'll see how nice this thing trades, right? So definitely keep that in mind. Guys, thank you for joining us. Take care, trade safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow, again, 8:30 Eastern time. Thank you for joining us on YouTube.
Thanks, guys. Take care, trade safe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.